In this video help, we're going to be covering the work order on the work order screen. Let's take a look and see where we're at. This is the work order page 1 and 2. We're also going to cover the work order portal, the work order list view, work order status, and the stock serial portal. One of the things that this application was designed around was a separate invoicing system and payment system, and then a work order. And the work order is actually created in this screen under the inventory system, where you have the ability to see all the inventory, and these are just the current ones that were in there for the demonstration of this application. And in this particular screen, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be selecting or creating a new record with a new record button, and then you would pick the particular client's company that is actually going to be used in this, and it will automatically put in the client ID by picking the client itself, add the date, and then put the priority as routine or urgent, and also the date of the actual work order. The work order number, you would put that in there. It's all automatically added. And then they have the work order status, which is the one that tells you, and you can see that it's the applicable things for a work order. For example, pending, work completed, customer called, call back, and canceled or completed. What happens, you can also add, if the client sends you a purchase order, you can put a purchase order number in at this point over here. Now, one of the things that work orders will do that might be quite different than something that you're used to is the work order itself is really listing the quantity of items that are actually being used in this particular screen, where this would become the data that was used to help to process the invoice for the materials, not the labor, but the materials that are being used in this process. For example, if you were going to go in here, you could drop in the quantity, the actual part number based on what's in the inventory system. That will add the particular part or materials that are matched. And you can see in this case the actual part ID is actually listed in here for a smart controller, and that's what we're actually doing, is putting in the smart controller in this thing for the record. If there's a serial number, you would put the serial number in. If you're taking something and putting, or this is where you would remove it, this is where you would put a new serial number in, and the serial number is based on the serial numbers that are in the serial dialog box that you created in the inventory itself, where you match up the serialized item with the actual device or whatever you're putting into the system. Then you have a situation where you do in process, adjusted, awaiting parts, completed, in process, repaired, or serviced. And over here it would be the status of the actual work order, app canceled, or whatever this is. Normally, the ultimate thing would be the work completed or service pending, or a new appointment has to be done. Now, because these drop downs are in here, it helps you to stage each element of the work order to see where it's at, whether or not it's installed, what serial number is involved with it, and the status of the current row item. If you want to create another one, you would put in the quantity again, then and follow through to do how many items that you're going to do as far as this particular work order is concerned. And over here on this portal, basically what we're doing here is we're providing the information from the inventory system so that you can pick and choose through here based on what's available and the stock serial numbers of the items that are available that are put in that stock serial number field. So these are stock serial number listings, so that when you're going over here and you're matching up serial numbers in this area, that you have the ability to look at these and see where they are. And in this case, this particular one is being installed or has been installed, and the status is a drop down here where you can actually see the different tasks that you can put it into as far as in stock or reorder or whatever it is based on what's in inventory. At the same time on this screen, you have a scrolling, this is scrolling portal. You have the ability to actually go over to the inventory system and look at the stock serial numbers as far as what's available on that row line, and see if there's any comments, or what you want to do is make comments. For example, if you're installing it, You could put in there the date information and who did it and what was done as far as the installation is concerned. That helps to identify the details that we talked about in the inventory as far as serial number items and how they're followed up and used. And the same thing goes if you go to the services over here. You can go back and you can see the stock serial number log where we showed this earlier, where you create the information for the stock and the serial number item that is shown in the right here in the purchase order. So what you're going to see after a while is you're going to see the equipment IDs, equipment ID, the equipment names, but these are based on things that are actually showing serial numbered items that are available. And obviously after a while you're going to see a lot of them that are, say, it's out of stock or installed or whatever it is. In this case, this one's out of stock and it needs to have a duplex board ordered, and then once it's in stock it should have a serial number in there. As far as searching in here and doing finds, you're open to any of the fields up here and these fields over here to do a search. If you need to do a detailed search as far as the word orders compared to, you can either go into this portal and look in here and then bounce right back over to the work order. This is the work order portal that we were talking about we would cover in the beginning of this video. And you can see that it's posted in the work order PID number 1. The quantity is from the actual work order showing the information. The serial number was not actually added yet for the new serial number because they haven't replaced it yet. And then you have the equipment name in this particular case that you could add for the detail. There is also a work order listing. Let's take a look at that because that's one of the things that we're going to cover. You can see where the work order date in here and the company and the customer ID and PO are also included in this screen. These are the purchase orders that are currently in the system, 1 through 6. If you want to review them, you can see that these are the customer IDs from the customer information. This is the company names from the customer information. And this is the actual contact person as far as the contact that you would contact about the work order. You get the time in and time out that the technician would be showing this on the work order. You have the current work order status showing from the actual work order that we worked on, and the work order numbers as you see in here that are added as you add new ones, and then the PO number if you added a PO number. So let's go up to the top one again, and you can see those kind of things that are actually a part of the information that you're working with. Now, there's a page 2 for the work order. Page 2 is a typical thing that most work orders would have. What is the issue? And you would list in here the issue for those particular things that have to be completed. You should be able to put everything in here for a standard work order. Most work orders don't have, but I would say probably no more than 10 line or rows of information. So you could list those and then each one how they were resolved. And then the technician that worked on it could actually add a comment if there's a problem or whatever, and then he'd put his employee information name in here. And then on an iPad you could have it signed. On the desktop the signature would be you'd print this form and then sign the form. Up at the top of the screen you'll see this up here. There it says add your company data here, and you can click on this and put your own logo in here and put your own company information at the very top of it. You see that things are brought over from the other screen. The information that's over here is in case you need to do a find based on the work order date or the person. Let's go back to the main screen for the work order. There are listings, like we said before. You can edit both the status and installed. So now let's go back, look and see what we covered. We covered the work order page 1 and 2. We covered the work order portal. The only thing we haven't shown yet is the list view. We're going to look at the work order status. We just showed that. And then we're going to look at the serial portal, which we already covered. So let's go ahead and look at the list view. The list view, when we covered it, you would put in the time in and the time out for the work order as far as when it was done. And as far as if it's completed or not would be actually on the work order as far as the form is concerned. And again, once you change this on one form for your company and add the data for your company name, those are permanent to this work order form. You do not have to re-add them in. If later on you wanted to change the logo or change something in the up here, you could edit this row to put your company information in here or change the logo if you need to. So currently if there's a logo in here and I say go out and insert it from a file or insert it from the picture folder, I could do that and add it. The same thing works on the iPad or iPhone, but with the iPhone and iPad it says insert from photo library. So that pretty well covers the work order form. Really straightforward, simple to use, does not create any issues as far as data input. This is a custom application. If you wanted this change, we could change it for you as far as the way it looks, as far as the formatting is concerned. If you have any questions about that, you can always contact us by going up here to the customer information and click on this support icon right here to ask questions. Thank you.